In this recording, we're going to be looking at creating the setup and the toolpaths that are required for the key tag. So first thing you need to do is open up your Fusion account. And what I want you to do is actually go back into your design, make sure you're in design, go back into your arrange, and the frame spacing that we originally gave our key tag in the previous video was, I think, 8 millimeters. I want you to decrease that to about 4 millimeters so that the distance that your key tag is off the edge of the base setup is only 4 millimeters. That just gives us a little bit more clearance from these points here in which we're going to use to bolt the key tag down. Okay, so swap from design to manufacture. In the manufacturing screen, we're going to create a new setup, and our new setup for this, we need to select our model body, so we can just click body and it will select the body, and then we need to choose our stock box point. We always want our stock box point to be this bottom left hand corner here, so we're just going to scroll in and select it, and it's really important that our X, Y and Z are in the correct orientations. I'm then going to jump across to stock, and I'm going to change this second drop down box to add stock to all sides. And in here, we want to change the negative X to 4 millimeters. If I rotate here, you can see 4 millimeters is actually too much. So I'm just going to reverse that. 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters. My range must have only been 3 millimeters in from the side. I want you to make sure you make yours 4, and that means that your offset will be 4 millimeters and mine will be 3, but that's okay. And the next thing we're going to do is add the positive. We've got our stock width here now 63, so we want to just add whatever the difference is in numbers there to get it up to 100. So let's just try 37, and you can see now that my stock now is 100 millimeters on the x-axis, which is the size of the piece of timber in which I'm cutting my keyring out of. Oh, 100, and that's essentially my stock. So I've got a piece of timber. What have I done here? 37. So I've got a piece of stock that's 100 by 100, and my key tag in the middle, which is what I'm going to be cutting out of. Clicking OK, my setup is complete. The next thing I need to do is a drilling operation, so I'm going to select drill. The tool which I wish to drill with, flick this over to milling, is tool 32. I'm going to select that, and now because I'm drilling, same as previously in the timber sign video, we want to slow that revolution from 1800, 18,000 down to 1500 revs per minute. The geometry we wish to choose is selected points. I'm just going to drill out these 3 holes today. The heights, which is really important, we want to go from not hole top but stock top, and not hole bottom but stock bottom. And we want to drill go through the timber 0.5 millimeters. The heights, we can leave it, wrap it out. We're only drilling down 6 millimeters deep, so wrap it out is going to be fine for this process. Okay. Sensational. All right. The next step is to do another drilling operation. So we're just going to select drill. And the tool we want to use this time is not tool 32. So we're going to change that tool. We're going to go into the SCAS tool library. Make sure you're on milling because all the tools are located under the SCAS tool library. And we're just going to choose for this one, tool 21, which is a 3/16 up cutter. So we can choose tool 31. And pressing select. Now we can change the speed of this again. we're also drilling a hole. It's 1500. Let's change the geometry. We're going to select the hole in which we wish to drill. So we're selecting the face. We slide along now to heights, and we're going to go from hole top to hole bottom. We don't need to drill through. We don't need to change the passes, and we can just select OK. So it's going to plunge that hole in. All right. Our next step is to do an engraving. For this one, we're going to go to 2D engrave. And now we're going to select our engraving tool. So coming into here, we're going to select tool 60, pressing select. We're then going to choose our geometry, and in this case it's going to be all the letters that we wish to engrave. So coming around the edge, select the letters that you wish to use for your engraving tool. And then the heights. Now with this, it's really important. So this tool that we've got selected currently is the top heights is going to be the selected contours, and the bottom height is going to be negative 16.625. We want to change that to just be a -1. So it's only going to be going 1 millimeter deep. From there, we can go across to passes. And because it's only 1 millimeter deep, we don't need to do multiple passes, and our linking's nothing, so we can just press OK on that tool. As you can see, I've missed a piece of geometry here in the center O, so I'm just going to right click on the toolpath, clicking edit, and coming back into my geometry, I'm just going to add in the tool path that I missed. Pressing OK, should regenerate. One more to go. So we're just going to go around here, 2 more tools I should say. We're going to do a 2D contour again and engrave. And this time, the tool I want is already selected, tool 60. So I'm just going to jump into the geometry. The geometry I wish to select this time is going to be these 2 center contours here. Actually, I'll take that back. These 2 edge contours here. And then we're going to jump across into heights. Again, you can see the bottom height being 6.625. It's far too deep. We're going to delete that and make it 1.5, so 1.5 millimeters deep. And we can just press OK because nothing else in that needs to change. You can see it's doing a bit of a deeper carve around the edge there. Final toolpath we need is to use a 1/8" cutter to cut the key tag out. So we're just going into 2D contour. With this one, we're going to change the tool. So we're going to go into find tool 11. You might need to go into the SCAS tool library and find tool 11. Select, that's an 1/8" up cutter. The geometry this time in which we're going to select is around the outside. We want to go from stock top to the selected contours, so that's fine. The heights, however, in this time we want to click on multiple depths with this one. And we're going to change from multiple depths that we want to do 3 millimeters at a time. That means it's going to do it in 3 passes. Jumping across into linking, these are 2 really important steps. We want to turn lead in out, off, and we want to turn lead out, off. Pressing OK completes the last tool path. So there's a fair bit in this key ring, in this key tag. You can see I'm probably a little bit close to my edge there, but you'll be fine because you're actually got 4 millimeters of stock, not 3 millimeters like I have. Coming up here to simulate and pressing play. Well, that's the contour. I'll exit that. If I come up here and I select my setup, then select simulate, and pressing play, I can see that it's going to put the 3 holes, it's going to drill another hole, it's going to do all my engraving, and then it's going to do a V carve around the inside and a final cut around the outside. exit your simulation, and now your key tag is ready to post. When posting, we're just going to hit that G1, G2 sign, making sure this up here says Multicam Australia, and we're going to enter the file name of what your key tag is called, Munro's Keys. I might call this Munro's Keys 2, and hitting post, and that'll save it in the NC file folder on the desktop.